All right, Psalm 48, let's call this one Forever Led, and a psalm through about the first 11 verses that is going to once again begin and end with an appeal seeming to go out to all people. However, at the end, the last three verses, verses 12 through 14, it is going to seem to offer an invitation to walk around Zion, God's holy city, as a reminder that, as our title says, he has promised to guide us forever. Once again, specifically talking about his people Israel, but also reminding us of the ways, kind of like we saw in Psalm 22 and other places, of the way in which his holy mountain is going to be the joy of all the earth. As this particular psalm starts off, great is the Lord and greatly to be praised in the city of our God. His holy mountain, beautiful in elevation, is the joy of all the earth. And like we said, skip it down to around the end of that set of verses, the first 11 verses. In verse 10, he's going to say, as your name, O God, so your praise reaches the ends of the earth. However, as we know, life ain't all peachy. And so in the middle, in verse 4, he's going to say, for behold, the kings assembled, they came together, and as soon as they saw it, they were astounded. They were in panic. They took flight. Why? Because they did not come to his holy mountain in peace, understanding that, as we mentioned before in the last set of Psalms for last week, as C.S. Lewis described Aslan, the figure of Christ, when the young lady asked, is that lion safe to be roaming around us? Whoever was guiding them through Narnia said, no, he is not safe, but he is good. And so once again, we are seeing a picture of the way in which God is not necessarily safe for everyone, but he is good. And insofar as our intentions are good, or we are willing to allow him to develop in us a genuine interest in righteousness and justice, then we got something in common with him, and he then becomes our refuge. Understanding that the end of the psalm, as we mentioned in verse 12, begins, walk about Zion, go around her, number her towers, consider well her ramparts. Go through her citadels, that you may tell the next generation that this is God, our God, forever and ever. He will guide us forever. Understanding, once again, it's a direct appeal to Israel, but Israel was designated a light to the nations. And this seems like the kind of psalm that would fit perfectly in the reign of Solomon, understanding that it is not unprecedented for Israel to be the kind of kingdom that was, in fact, a light to the entire world. And even though that only lasted for a little while, it points forward to a time in the Revelation where God once again will establish his holy city as the joy of all the earth, reminiscent of what we again see back here in Psalm 48, verse 1, where it says, in the city of our God, his holy mountain, beautiful in elevation, the joy of all the earth. And even though things like that seem like they are in a lot of ways a fairy tale in comparison to the mess that we live in right now, understand as we go to the end of Psalm 48, when he is saying that he will guide us forever, understand how that is rooted in the way in which he guides us now. And so even though it may be difficult to picture God's holy mountain and his holy city as the joy of all the earth, especially in times this divided, understand that just as you might see folks standing along a marathon route, handing out cups of water to tired marathon runners trying to finish a race, that if we are genuinely following him, he is empowering us to be that small dose of genuine human kindness that helps people get to a point where he awakens us to see a day when his joy reaches the ends of the earth.